Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again. This is Rebuilding Hockey Town, and let's get right down to business because we have a couple of things that we need to do before we hopefully sim the rest of this season. Now, the last episode ended on a pretty weird note. I was very tired. I know I use that excuse quite a bit. I was pretty tired recording that video, and like I mentioned, I do have a small dog that kind of freaks the hell out with certain thunderstorms. So I was at that point where I'm like, okay, she might start freaking out at any moment. I need to stop the video. In fairness, feel free to ask anybody from New England, particularly in Massachusetts or Connecticut, just how crazy thunderstorms can be up here. Just saying. I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, it's not like hurricane or twister territory, but yeah, lightning, not fun. Anyway, in the last video, we had to trade Kailer Yamamoto because Tommy Hagman decided to become a third-line forward. We also discovered that our backup goaltending hasn't exactly been good enough, with Laurent Brossoit simply not getting the job done. However, something else has occurred that now requires our attention. Stuart Pasquale has jumped to a third-line scoring forward, which means, unfortunately, Eli Tolvanen is the odd man out. Now, you have to factor in, you could say, oh, we'll trade Robert Thomas or something like that, but the fact is we need a guy like Robert Thomas to hold down the fourth line, and he's been a pretty solid player for us, and hopefully he stays as a fourth line guy. And it's probably the case because I set him to a grinder rather than a two-way. But you got to factor in Benoit Garou, third line guy, Ruzicka, third line guy, Cole Lind is a second line guy along with all of the guys currently on the second line. Eli Tolvanen, flat out, it's almost not even fair to him to keep him on the fourth line. He's been good, but when you factor in Elias Pettersson, Kelly Chow, Donaghy, David, there's just not room. Eli Tolvanen and Laurent Brossoit have to go. Simply put. Now, when it comes down to who are we replacing him with, in the case of Brossoit, there are two goalies that I have found that I think either would be good decisions. The first is on the LA Kings, if I remember right, and indeed that would be Oscar Dansk, 86 overall, backup goalie with a .925 save percentage on the last year of his contract. But better yet would be the secondary option, Ville Husso, also a backup goalie, statistically a little bit better, mainly with the vision category. He has a .924 save percentage with 2 years left on his deal. Husso is going to be the primary target. I can't imagine that we won't be able to work out a deal. I mean, look at his trade value. We should be fine. We should be good to go as far as getting a deal done here. So, it is unfortunate. Brossoit does have good value, but that 900 save percentage, man, I don't want to sit here and wait to see if he continues to get better. I'd rather go with Ville Husso. Will that go through straight up? No, it won't, which is unfortunate because I wanted to trade Tolvanen to St. Louis as well, but we'd have to take back a contract. Well, then again, do they have anybody cheap on their team? Or, well, actually, unsigned prospect wouldn't help. Who do you guys have on your team? Of course, we already, dealt Yamamoto to them. But who else could I really look at here? There really isn't anybody. There isn't anybody. So let's just focus on getting this deal done first, and then we'll find a secondary option for Tolvanen where we don't have to take a contract back. So let's see, is a fourth rounder enough to push this through? No, it's not. I thought that might be close, but I guess because they don't want to trade him, apparently not. Do we have a third round pick anytime soon? 2025? Will that go through? No, it won't. Damn. All right, I guess I'm actually going to have to give something up here. How about your own second round pick back, St. Louis? How does that sound? Now, because you're being a bit cheap, I am going to try to pick hoard just a little bit, maybe. All right, well, I wouldn't exactly define a third-round pick as pick hoarding. But let's see, what can we get back? That's close to fair value. Will that go through? No, it won't, but you know what? We're going to try to force it through. How about a nice, shiny seventh-round pick from your friends, the Detroit Red Wings? And there you go. There you go. Brossoit and a second, along with a seventh, to St. Louis for Ville Husso, a fourth and a fifth. Right. Right. So for the moment, we're good. I just have to assign the lines and have Ville Husso as our backup, and then we focus on trading Eli Tolvanen. And from that point, Unfortunately, I will have to take a look and re-edit the power play lines, which will be a little bit time-consuming, and I guarantee at one point, you know what, I'm so sure of it, I'm going to say it now, rather than saying it 5 minutes from now, I'm going to wish I would have done it off-screen. But I'm not going to, because I'm stubborn. Damn it. So let's see. Eli Tolvanen. You know what? Let's be smart about this. Let's go look at the standings. We're going to, not like we need the help. Not that we need the help. Let's look at the standings, see who's terrible, and then try to trade Tolvanen into them. How's that sound? So let's see here. New Jersey, Anaheim, Minnesota. Those are the first 3 targets. Those are the first 3 targets. New Jersey, Anaheim, and Minnesota. We'll go talk. That's very weird that that popped up now of all times, but okay. New Jersey? No, not a fit. Minnesota? Perfect fit. There we go. Let's go talk to the Minnesota Wild. Tolvanen does have a cap hit still, though. So I'm actually not sure, now that I think about it. How big is his cap hit? I can't remember. Actually, no, you know what? That works. That is perfect. Wow, he is on a beautiful contract for us. That is crazy. Can I get, you know what, trading for that first-round pick is going to be ridiculous. It'll be good enough to get the second-round pick for him. Let's just try to pick hoard here as much as we can and see what happens. That's obviously going to be way too much. How about that, though? Just a bit low. All right, let's see if we can force that through. 2 seconds and a third would be a pretty sweet return. How about the St. Louis 5th? Nope, they'd have to put Peary on waivers. All right, well, fuck it. We should just be able to give up more value to force this through, I do believe. Let's hope at least. I don't get... Fuck Brandon Peary. You're getting Eli Tolvanen back. What the hell? Screw Brandon Peary. You're getting back the guy who scored like 86 goals on a season. Damn it. We'll make this work because I'm not having to give up too much. I mean, hopefully this will go through just by adding even more onto this. I mean, you'd like to think. Do I have a third-round pick down the road again? How about the 2025 third? Come on, guys. Come on. It's just Brandon Peary. Man up. Make the trade. Thank you. There we go. All right, cool. There we go. Eli Tolvanen back to Minnesota, along with a handful of picks, for some picks back in return. So Tolvanen, thank you for the rental. You didn't help us win the cup or anything. But thank you for your time here. Stuart Pasquale, whatever he gets the call up. Let's get this lineup set. Of course, auto-rotate goalie is still on, so we should be able to breeze through the rest of the sim here. But let's get this lineup back set. The problem is, we know Hagman won't play on the 4th line without complaining. We need to find out if Pasquale will play on that 4th line without complaining. If he doesn't, then we're put into the very tough decision that'll have to happen eventually. Hagman, Ruzicka, Lind, Giroux, Pasquale. We're going to hit that point of needing to trade more players. You know, it's going to happen. And it's just a matter of, can we get these guys to cooperate for now? And obviously Pasquale did play on the on that 4th line. I almost said third pairing because I was looking at the defense and I was like, no, that's not right at all. Will he be able to go back through and play without complaining? That is the hope. Let's see here. The top line is good. Who do we need here? Who do we need? So, Giroux and Lind need power play time for sure. Pascal, or penalty kill time. Okay, so Giroux and Lind on the PK. Pasquale on the power play. And then we should be fine. We should be fine. So, Ruzicka will be the sacrifice there to get Pasquale the power play time so that he hopefully doesn't complain. Put Vic Marsh on that side. Perfect. I know Dahlin's a better center, but that's how we want the team to shape up. And then we have Hronik and Hughes, Dahlin and Ekblad, which we will take Ekblad out of there for Liljegren. Yeah, because we want Quentin Hughes there, and we can go without Ekblad and Nicholas Hague. So So let's get Liljegren back on the power play. And we'll go with him and Hronek, Dahlin, and Hughes. I hit down more than one CA. Thank you very much. All right, so those lines are set. Hischier, Tippett, Hall, Ruzicka. It's so funny that it has Ruzicka there. We'll leave him there. Why the hell not? We will leave him there. Again, though, we will take out Aaron Ekblad for Liljegren, just to give him that much more time. I'm not going to say it. The thought just crossed my mind, and I'm like, no, don't say it. You said you wouldn't say it. You said it earlier, so that you didn't have to say it now. And we're good, right? It was Lind. I mean, Pascale, not exactly the best. Thomas could get that PK time. So it was Lind and Giroux. Who else do we have here that's worth it to have on the PK? Hagman's 4-star. Hagman's 4-star. Yeah, we could put Hagman there. Sure, Hagman works, actually. So we'll get him some PK time as well. And then we're good to go. And then I'll sim 2 games tops before there's an injury, right? That's exactly what's going to happen. 100%. 100%. So let's go with Hronek and Ekblad. Actually, let's go Haig and Ekblad. That is a shutdown pairing if there ever was one. Hronek and Rasmus Dahlin. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. This team is unbelievable. We are good to go with Ville Husso as the backup. Let me just double check the AHL lines. Although, in fairness, I should just have to put in a center. But you know what? Now, we'll go best lines for the hell of it. For the moment, let's go best lines. Did I just turn on? Wait, what? I don't know. I have no idea what just happened. I have no idea. Let's take Tuukka Jokinen out of the lineup. He was not our player. And we'll have to put in Lilja. And then we have Ackerstrom and Burkhoff as the scratches. So we got Lilja. Do we want to keep in Dale McMuffin? I guess so. Yeah, fuck it. There we go. The team's looking good. Team's looking good. And then defensively, still good. Exactly how we had it before. Perfect goaltending, of course. It is Luukkonen between the pipes. Finally, we are able to get the sim back underway. Again, can we avoid injuries? Can we avoid injuries? And can we avoid players complaining about their ice time? That is the only 2 things that could stop this from being a successful episode, I would say. As they did end up putting Brandon Peary on waivers. I should pick him up. I should. He has 2 years left on his deal, though, so I won't. But, wow. I can't wait for him to clear waivers, so I gave up a bunch of fucking picks for no reason. You dicks. Well, let's see here. Scouting. I mean, God. I don't know where to scout at this point. It's kind of irrelevant. Really. I mean, unlike in Draft to Glory, where every pick has its relevancy, in this series, at this stage, it pretty much doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's not even worth my time at this stage, because we're always going to end up with very high draft picks. Yes, there's a chance, and we've seen it with certain drafts where, you know, people are picking elite players, and then some computer team will pick like a high top 9 guy in the top 10. That hasn't happened too much with us, thankfully. And hopefully it remains that way now that I've brought it up. This game might decide, oh, really? Really? You don't make too many mistakes in your drafts. Oh, we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, you know, I don't even care. I cannot be bothered with scouting right now. I don't care. We'll leave that for other series, like Animation United, where we can only scout Swedes and only draft Swedes, or as in Draft to Glory, where it actually matters that we find, you know, at least half decent players as far as that series goes, where a low top 9 player actually has value, as opposed to this series, where they simply do not. They simply don't. Hell, half the medium top 4 defensemen you see get drafted you couldn't even trade a 2nd round pick for them. You'd be lucky if you could trade a 3rd round pick for them. So, yeah, it's just the way the game is, man. Just the way the game is. But the good thing is, I don't want to jinx it, but we have very much turned our season around. The prior episode, we started, to dip just a little bit. Just a little bit. But overall, so far in this episode, we've only lost back-to-back games twice. I think those were our only 4 losses. There's an injury. It's Sheldon Goalie. I am going to have to manually edit that. Otherwise, it'll put the... What's his name? Jokinen? It'll put Jokinen in. And I don't want that. It is Jokinen. So, Ackerstrom or Burkhoff? Ackerstrom or Burkhoff? Burkhoff, of course, we picked up in the last episode. Only a 61, though. Let's go with Ackerstrom. We'll get him some ice time. And we shall continue on. Not going to bother looking at morale at the moment. Again, we're continuing to do well. We are near the top of the standings, I would imagine. So as far as morale goes, at this stage, if you don't like it, too fucking bad. As we approach the trade deadline, though, I will end up looking. We still have quite a few games before then. Plenty of chances for injuries that could completely screw me over. As Anaheim offers Sami Vatanen. I would love to have Sami Vatanen on my team. Just not right now. Where we have Nicholas Hague, Rasmus Dahlin as the fucking second pairing. As there's an injury. Vic Marsh. Vic Marsh goes down to injury. How do you like that? Now, let's call up David. Joel David. Not the ideal... Well, actually, Vic Marsh has power play time, doesn't he? You know what? Let's... Or do I... No, Pettersson would have waivers. Let's go with Waked, because I'm not afraid to lose him. Not afraid to lose him, and we'll keep David down in the AHL. I mean, as it is, I am going to call up Cole Lind to the second line, even though that third line's been great all season. And actually, in saying that, should I break up the third line? I don't think I should. Ruzicka and Cole Lind have crazy good chemistry. So we will actually leave this team the same, as crazy as that sounds. And it does sound pretty damn crazy. Let's see here. Pascale, not complaining about ice time. I love you. I really do. Thank you for not complaining about ice time. How about Hughes and Liljegren? Shit. Quentin Hughes and Liljegren both complaining about ice time. Now, Hughes was last month. Liljegren was towards the start of this month. It says his morale is improving, though, and Hughes has improved as well. You know, at this stage, I'm content to just tell them both to fuck off, deal with it, and we'll get rid of you at the end of the year. I think we're going to stick with it. We're going to keep the team the same. We're this close to the trade deadline. I'm not going to make any other moves. Let's put Burkhoff in. That's fine. And then we'll take Ackerstrom out for Goalie. And then we'll bump back up to Burkhoff. And we will get our other player, Ackerstrom, back into the lineup. That is how you do it. All right. So let's go. Hopefully we can stay healthy beyond an injury to Marsh. And then we'll go clean through to the trade deadline. Although I need to stop the sim here. Don't sim that game. Thank you. Is Vic Marsh 100%? I can't remember again. I thought he was going to be 100% on the 25th. It is worth checking, though. We have 22 games left. I don't need my second line right wing losing morale right now. He is not 100%. Fairness, only 29 points this year, but we don't exactly want to sacrifice his development because I was in a hurry to sim the season. We have all the time in the world. All the time in the world. As Vic Marsh is now 100% after that 5-2 victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets. We are, of course, in first place in the division. 9 points clear of the Boston Bruins with 21 games to go. Anton Waked, 3 points, 2 goals on 4 shots. Not too shabby, but you, sir, have to take a seat for Vic Marsh. No doubt about that. So let's send Waked back down. If he doesn't clear waivers, maybe I'll go take a look at free agency to get a veteran. I don't think he cleared. He did not. Somebody claimed Anton Waked. Wow, or is it like Waked? I wonder. I just assumed Waked. It could be like Waked or something like that. Waked? Walked? I have no idea. Who picked him up on waivers? Nashville. All right, well, hey, good for him. Good for him. He was on our team. We let him develop enough to the point where he was good enough to be claimed on waivers by a team. See, we develop talent. We don't just steal the best talent from all the other teams. We develop talent. We also have some contract spots available. So I might go out and sign the best 2 free agents that I can. A forward and a defender to boost this team up. Hunter Shinkarik. Oh my God. We can't afford him. We cannot afford him. So that is not an option. Ryan Kujawinski, though, we could bring him back. Riley Smith, that's a bit too much. We have Teuvo Teravainen as an option. Well, let's look at Kujawinski, obviously kind of in the same boat as Waked. Pretty solid player, well-rounded player. Teuvo Teravainen, about the same. Or we could go with one of the fourth-line options, Austin Watson, Kyle Clifford, or Joachim Nordstrom. So let's see here. Nordstrom, a pretty solid playmaker. Yeah, Nordstrom might be the guy. Nordstrom might be the guy. Let me see who's available on defense, though, so I know exactly how much money I can spend here. Wow, TVR isn't worth much. 1.4 mil. Damn. We could easily, as compared to Ben Hutton, who's asking for $4 million bucks. Holy hell. All right. Well, or we could even bring back Dan Renouf. 85 overall. Interesting. Interesting. I think, though, I mean, if we can get TVR for that, why not, right? Why the hell not? And then that opens up space to sign someone for up to, what, 4.1 mil? So that could be Ryan Kujawinski. So let's go for Ryan Kujawinski and Trevor Van Riemsdyk as our 2 depth signings rather than trading anybody else or trading for anybody else after after losing Waked on waivers, and of course after some of our acquisitions. Andrei Svechnikov is out until April 1st. Here come the injuries, guys. So one thing I said that could slow us down. Here come the injuries. Not exactly the best time for this. Now, because he's out until April 1st, I mean, I can't... Damn it. All right. Hold on. Although, in fairness, he wasn't on any power play lines. So it's actually going to make things easy. It's really going to make things easy. So we'll bring up David. We'll bring up David. And then, I think... Yeah, we'll just bump up Cole Lind. Can Vic Marsh play center? Not really. Can Cole Lind play center? Not really. Alright, so we'll go with Vic Marsh. We'll put Lind there. And then Guru or Pascale. Neither's complained about ice time recently. Because we are going to drop David down to the fourth line there. So Guru or Pascale. We're going to go with Pascale because of his offensive ability. Absolutely. Okay, so that's still looking all right despite the injuries. We're still looking pretty good. And then that puts Burkhoff in a position to get some ice time for the moment, at least until we figure out what the hell is going on with the injuries. So let's see here. Let's put, who's the better center? It's going to be Donahue, right? No, it's actually Kelly Chow. That's why you check. That is why you check. But let's see here. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? Let's go with, yeah, Rod Einen Bergeron. That works. How's Bergeron been doing? I could have sworn some people wanted to ask. He has 21 points. Not too shabby. Who's the better center? I mean, aside, from the fact that Bergeron's obviously the best center. Yeah, fuck it. We'll play him at center. We'll play him at center. I was going to have them on the fourth line. Let's bump them up. The other guys are just so low overall that it doesn't exactly make sense to have them play. 73, 71. All right, so a ton of 71s. So let's put Sheldon Goalie up there. And then we'll have McMuffin play center. Right, defensively, we're already good. Okay, back to the sim until someone else is healthy. And then we have fucking free agents sign their contracts and stuff like that. Anything to make this episode last longer than it has to. I mean, that's what EA's going to do. It's what they do best. It's what they do best. TVR and Kujawinski have both accepted. Awesome. In the meantime, did it send them down to the AHL? Yes, it did. Right. Alright, damn it. Nope, I have to. I gotta get this lineup set. I have to get this lineup set. So, David will be sent down in favor of Kujawinski and TVR. Let's get the lineup set again. Oh my god, the lineup management is ridiculous. We'll go best lines. Right? So everything's still good there. And then NHL level, we'll take Jokinen out for whoever. I don't even know at this point. It'd be Lilia. We'll get him back in here. Swap him around for Bergeron. Lovely. NHL, we need to put Kujawinski into the lineup. He is now a center. So we can get him in there. Fourth line is still looking okay. Defensively, of course, it's still looking okay with TVR as a healthy scratch. He won't be too happy about it, but, you know, he's just there as a depth guy, and that way to hopefully, knock on wood, EA might find a way to prove me wrong here, but hopefully that just means, you know, I can take advantage of the assistant coach replace best player feature, and it'll make things that much more easier. But we are going through the trade deadline. We are done. We are good to go. This team, once again, should be good enough. Now, are we going to hit 60 wins like we did last year? No, we're not. But if anything, that might be a good thing, because winning 60 games curses you to being eliminated in the first round, which I'm still not completely over that. If I'm to be honest, I'm still very, very salty that a 60-win team, I really can't put it any other way than saying that they got their asses handed to them. A 60-win team got their asses handed to them in the first round last year as defending Stanley Cup champions. I'm not sure what makes it worse. The fact that they won 60 games or the fact that they were the defending Stanley Cup champion. So that pressure to repeat is certainly off of our shoulders now, as we will hope that we can get our shit together. We are, you know, losing a few more games here or there than we were earlier in the episode, but we are very much on track to hit 50 wins. Now on 48 on the year, and the Grand Rapids Griffins up to 45 wins. So we continue to roll our way toward the playoffs. We will have to make sure that Svechnikov is fully healthy. He is. He is. It's a good thing I checked. Hopefully he didn't lose credit or be punished for missing that prior game. I don't think he was. But what that means is that we will substitute him for Ryan Kujawinski. We will put Thomas back on the left. Pascale, Lind, bam. There we go. There we go. I'm excited to look at the stats for this team and what players underperformed as we head into the postseason. Very much excited to look out for that, as we have hit the final stretch of this season. Quite a few games to wrap up the year. Quite a few games as we lose to the Sabres that could have kept their playoff hopes alive. Of course, it's all division rivals from here on out. We play Montreal. Will that be win number 50? Yes, it will be. And we bounce back and beat the Sabres 6-2 just a few short days after losing a 2-1 game to them. Dan Streit fully healthy. The backup for Grand Rapids. We'll make sure he's in for the playoffs. But for now, we will wrap up this season. How do you like that? An 8-4 win against the Bruins, winning 4 out of our last 5 games as we head into the postseason on the back of a 53-win season. Not too shabby. First place in the conference, a 50-win team as well for Grand Rapids. What a season for this franchise as a whole. So let's go ahead here as we're probably playing Montreal in the first round, from what I can gather. Both wildcard spots were in this division. And let's actually, Philly, we tied with Philly in points. I think we have the tiebreaker, though. I think we have the tiebreaker over the Flyers, so we're probably playing Montreal in the first round. If not, we play Buffalo, right? So either way, playing somebody in this division. I just don't know who is jumping over. We did seal the President's Trophy. So yeah, we have the tiebreaker on Philly. So we're playing Montreal in the first round. But that is crazy. 113 points for two teams from the Eastern Conference. Goals for this year, of course, no question. 3.6 a game. Goals against, we were 4th in the league. Philly actually had the best defense this year. Power play percentage, that is much better. Something we have struggled with in quite a few series, but not this time. The league's second best power play. Two teams had a 24% power play. Us and the Philadelphia Flyers, of course. The PK, also not looking too bad. Damn, what's that, top 10? Just about. I mean, Philly was second, of course, because the Flyers are ridiculous. But an 81.7 PK percentage, 7-3 record as we head into the new, or into this upcoming postseason. I should note, Grand Rapids also leading their division, and have already clinched the conference at the AHL level. My God, this franchise as a whole, man, is ridiculous. And it helps, too. Luukkonen, maybe not the best NHL level goalie, but for an AHL level goalie, he's a Hall of Famer. he really is. But here we go. Let's look at the team stats here before we confirm that we play Montreal in the first round. Owen Tippett, 90 points. He played all 82 games. What a beast. What a beast. What an acquisition he was from the Ottawa Senators. Unreal. Nico Hischier, of course, taken in the same draft. First overall, finished with 84 points. The setup man for Tippett. And then 4th in scoring, the other guy from the first line, certain player named Taylor Hall with 75 points this year. Makes you wonder how many of Owen Tippett's assists came on the power play. 52 helpers is insane. Speaking of insane, Philip Hronik, 79 points in 82 games as a defenseman. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. 18 goals, 61 helpers for him on the year. Jonathan Dahlen, 61 points. Adam Ruzicka. I was going to say something about Dahlen, like, oh yeah, the only other player to break 60 points, but that's obvious and redundant. Ruzicka, though, the only other player to break 50. He had 53 points in 82 games. Not too bad. Vic Marsh, pretty disappointing. 46 points in 80 games. We have him as a sniper, which is a fair player type, I would say. So a pretty disappointing year for him, but he's 20 years old, man. So he has time. Cole Lind, between the third line and second line, 44 points. Only 6 goals, but 38 assists on the season. And he had a pretty, in fairness, he had a pretty decent shooting percentage. 9% isn't bad. He just doesn't take many shots. Quentin Hughes, 35 points. Pascalia with 30 points in 64 games. Oh my God. Svechnikov, a very disappointing year. And a lot of you guys might be saying, see, I told you not to hold on to him. You might not have been wrong. Maybe he's somebody we look to get rid of. Whether or not we can find anybody worth fair trade value, I have no idea. The ideal situation might be to trade for the #1 overall pick. But we can't because he's an RFA coming up. So, or actually, would he be an RFA at 23? I think he would be. Robert Thomas, 28 points, 27 for Liljegren, 25 points for Nick Hague, and 106 penalty minutes. He's a monster, but he's a shutdown defenseman. The shutdown defenseman that we needed. 24 points for Aaron Ekblad, 21 for Benoit Garou, 19 for Dahlen, 18 for Tommy Hagman. Kujawinski, in fairness, didn't do too bad once he got some playing time either. All right, man. This team, it's still looking good. Ian Scott, 63 games, a .917 save percentage. He really kind of dropped off towards the latter half of the season, and we'll see, heading into the playoffs, what he can do. That doubt is still there for a lot of you guys. It's there for me. It is there for me. If he doesn't find some success here, it could be Thatcher Demko time in the Motor City. Billy Husso played 36 games. He has a .924 save percentage. I am at least feeling a lot more confident in the backup goaltending. Now, where did we send Brossoit again? I'm sorry that I already forgot, but I completely did. It was St. Louis. 36 games, a .911 save percentage. So, yeah, I'm much more confident now in the backup goaltending. No doubt about that. Let's look league-wide. Save percentage leader, or wins leader, was Carter Hart, of course, battling it out with Ian Scott. Save percentage for starters was Carter Hart, go figure. Another name people thought maybe you should go after, Thatcher Demko, up there as well, of course, with the Vancouver Canucks. And in fairness, Chris Dreger with the Edmonton Oilers. 66 games, a .922 save percentage. Very few goalies had over a .920. Very high-scoring league this year. We'll look at the rookie skating because we're already here. Wow, that is one hell of a name. Bear Doig. Damn. I almost want him for the name alone. 48 points in his rookie year. Vic Marsh. You would have thought this was Vic Marsh's trophy to win for sure. That might not be the case. Joe Veleno. Danilo Vierti? I have no idea. Zadina, Morgan Frost, Pascale, technically a rookie, of course. Interesting numbers. This should have been Vic Marsh's trophy to walk away with, considering the talent he is with. On that second line, as far as goaltenders, Jordan Hallett certainly has a chance. So it'll be interesting to see who takes on the Calder this year. And then league-wide scoring, Owen Tippett led the league, the only player to break the 90-point mark. Nico Hischier was up there as well. Patrick Laine, a 91 overall. Not too bad. Malta Stromwall in Colorado also doing all right. And Stromwall just beat Tippett, didn't he? Actually, never mind. I was going to say, I thought Tippett had a chance for the most goals in a season. That would be Vladimir Tarasenko with 45. Luke Kunin with 44. Casey Middlestad also with 44. And Brock Besser with 40. All right, then. Guys. Let's make it official. We'll be playing Montreal in the first round. There you have it. Wings and Habs in the first round. We will, of course, get a look at their team in the next episode. That does it for this one, guys. Thank you, as always, for watching. Of course, let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the episode and, any suggestions you might have as we head in to the first round. But I will say this on the way out, of course, make sure to hit that like button. Smash it, as the people say. Yeah, just take a hammer and smash your mouse just repeatedly until it manages to hit the like button. I encourage you. I will not buy you a replacement, but I encourage your behavior anyway. Subscribe, if you haven't already, to continue following this series and others. Follow me on Twitter at Tuki24. Join the notification squad and make sure, one way or another, to come back soon. I won't say tomorrow for sure because my upload schedule has been a little bit shaky and unstable for the past couple of days, but maybe it'll sort itself out. Who knows? Anyway, next episode, Wings, Habs. I'm looking forward to it. You should be too. I'll catch you guys in the next one.